Did you know that nearly all deaths occurring after the age of 75 can be traced back to just a few specific causes? While many believe that dying at an old age is simply part of the natural cycle, the reality is that most of these deaths result from preventable factors, hazards often disregarded until the damage is already done. The issue is that by the time people notice something is wrong, their health has often declined significantly, leaving them with fewer options. But by becoming aware of these risks early, you can take meaningful action to protect your well-being and potentially add years, maybe even decades to your life. In this video, we're going to reveal the 5 primary causes of death for individuals over 75. These are the main culprits behind the vast majority of fatalities in this age bracket. Some may sound familiar, while others could catch you off guard. Either way, understanding them is the crucial first step to reducing their impact. These aren't just numbers or dry statistics. They reflect real people, families, and decisions that can mean the difference between a life burdened by illness or one filled with strength and vitality. Stick around until the end because these 5 conditions are not set in stone. In fact, through small but consistent changes, many people have not only minimized their risks, but also maintained their independence and vitality far longer than expected. What you choose to do today could shape your ability to stay active, self-reliant, and healthy in the future. Let's dive into the first one, heart disease. This remains the #1 cause of death among those over 75, and yet many are unaware of how much influence they actually have over it. The heart is a muscle, and like all muscles, it thrives when cared for and deteriorates with neglect. The danger lies in the fact that symptoms often remain silent until it's too late. Many people chalk up fatigue, shortness of breath, or slowing down as just part of getting older, but these can actually be warning signs that your heart is weakening. A major contributor to heart disease is high blood pressure. Over time, elevated pressure puts extreme strain on your arteries and forces your heart to work harder than necessary. The challenge: high blood pressure usually doesn't cause noticeable symptoms, no pain, no discomfort, until something serious like a heart attack or stroke occurs. That's why so many seniors end up in the ER feeling blindsided, unaware that their health had been declining. Another major factor is an unhealthy diet. Years of consuming processed foods, excessive salt, and harmful fats quietly damage the body, clogging arteries and restricting blood flow. But it's not just about cutting out the bad stuff. It's just as important to include nourishing, heart-supportive foods. Your heart needs the right nutrients to stay resilient. And if your diet falls short, deterioration happens more rapidly than you'd think. Lack of physical activity is also a huge player. The heart isn't designed to be idle all day. Without regular movement, circulation slows, muscles weaken, and your heart misses out on the stimulation it needs to function well. You don't need to run marathons. Consistent movement, whether it's daily walks, light stretches, or even chair exercises, can do wonders for your cardiovascular health. One of the most damaging beliefs is that heart disease is just a matter of fate. People assume it's genetic or simply tied to aging, but the truth is, everyday habits, what you eat, how you move, and how you handle stress play a major role in your heart's future. If there's one message to take from this, it's that you hold more control over your heart health than you might think. The decisions you make now could determine whether your heart remains strong in the years ahead, and the best time to start making changes right now. Now, let's talk about #2, falls and injuries. Among the elderly, one of the most dangerous and underestimated threats isn't a disease, it's falling. It can happen in an instant. One wrong step, a sudden dizzy spell, or a slick floor can lead to life-altering consequences. A fall might result in a broken hip, head trauma, or even a seemingly minor injury that escalates quickly into something far more serious. What's truly alarming is how unprepared most people are for this risk. Many don't realize just how fragile the body can become until they've already suffered a fall. In fact, falls rank among the top causes of fatal injuries in older adults every year. They send millions of seniors to emergency rooms, and for many, that fall marks the beginning of a permanent decline. A fractured hip can lead to months of immobility, loss of independence, and a greater risk of infections and complications. Even though falls are incredibly common, most people don't take them seriously until they or someone close to them suffers one. The challenge is that as we grow older, our balance, muscle strength, and reaction time gradually diminish, but because the decline is so gradual, we often don't notice the changes. You might feel perfectly stable doing your usual daily tasks, walking around your home or reaching for something on a shelf until one day, your footing slips, your balance gives out, and gravity does the rest. Unfortunately, the body's ability to bounce back just isn't what it used to be. What once would have been a harmless stumble can now result in a serious, sometimes life-threatening injury. And there's another hidden danger. Fear of falling often leads to more falls. After experiencing a near miss or a minor fall, many older adults become hesitant. They start to move less, avoid stairs, skip walks, and limit their activities out of fear. But here's the catch. The less you move, the weaker your muscles become, and the weaker your muscles are, the greater your risk of falling. It creates a destructive loop that can quietly take away your independence. The encouraging news: falls don't have to be inevitable. There are straightforward, yet highly effective strategies to lower your risk: strengthening your legs and core, working on your balance, and making minor but smart changes to your home, such as better lighting, securing rugs, and installing sturdy handrails can make all the difference between maintaining independence and suffering a life-changing injury. One frequently overlooked issue is medication side effects. Many prescriptions can cause dizziness, drowsiness, or affect blood pressure, all of which increase your risk of falling. If you've ever stood up quickly and felt faint or dizzy, your body might be sending you a signal that something needs adjusting. Speaking with your doctor about your medications, making sure they're not affecting your balance or alertness, could literally save your life. Avoiding falls isn't just about avoiding obstacles. It's about staying physically strong, mentally alert, and aware of how even small things can have big impacts. Because after 75, one fall can change everything, but the right actions today can lead to years of continued mobility, freedom, and a much better quality of life. Now let's move to number 3, respiratory diseases. Breathing is something we rarely think about until it becomes difficult. As we get older, the lungs begin to lose some of their efficiency, and even minor breathing issues can escalate quickly. A simple cough or occasional shortness of breath might seem harmless, but could be the start of something far more serious. After 75, respiratory illnesses become one of the leading causes of death, not because they're inevitable, but because they're often ignored until they become dangerous. A major concern is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, which includes emphysema and chronic bronchitis. Over time, the airways become inflamed and narrowed, making it harder and harder to breathe. Many older adults dismiss symptoms like chronic coughing, wheezing, or breathlessness, assuming it's just part of aging. But in truth, these are signs that the lungs are struggling. Then there's pneumonia. While it might seem like just another infection, pneumonia can be deadly for seniors. What starts as a cold or mild chest congestion can evolve into a life-threatening condition. That's because as we age, the immune system weakens, making it harder to fight off infections. Many hospital admissions in this age group are due to pneumonia, and in some cases, the decline in health is so rapid that recovery never fully happens. Air quality is another critical factor. Years of exposure to pollutants like dust, smoke, and chemicals can silently damage the lungs. Even inside the home, irritants like mold, peat dander, or poor ventilation can worsen breathing issues, especially for those with asthma or COPD. Making small environmental changes, such as using air purifiers, ensuring good airflow, and avoiding secondhand smoke, can significantly improve lung health. One of the easiest yet most effective ways to support your lungs: stay active. Movement helps your lungs expand fully, clears out mucus, and keeps your respiratory system functioning well. But when we sit too much, lung function declines, and the risk of infections rises. Simple activities, walking, stretching, or light exercise can help maintain lung strength. Don't overlook the importance of vaccines either. Many older adults underestimate how vital it is to get vaccinated against the flu, pneumonia, and other respiratory infections. These vaccines don't just prevent illness, they protect you from complications that could become life-threatening. Something as small as staying current with your vaccinations could be the reason you avoid a hospital stay or worse. Breathing should never feel like a burden, but for many people over 75, it does. Not because it has to, but because action wasn't taken early enough. Your lungs work around the clock to keep you alive. Taking care of them, protecting them from infection, and strengthening them through movement and clean air is one of the most powerful investments you can make in your health and independence. Next up, number 4, stroke. A stroke strikes suddenly, no warning, no time to prepare. In seconds, it can change your entire life. It's one of the most common causes of death after 75, and yet many people don't realize how many stroke-related risk factors are within their control. The scariest part? A stroke rarely gives you a second chance. Once it hits, the damage is often permanent. But here's what might surprise you: up to 80% of strokes are preventable. That means your daily choices right now can determine whether you remain independent or face a life-altering health crisis. A stroke occurs when blood flow to the brain is suddenly blocked or when a blood vessel in the brain ruptures. Without oxygen, brain cells begin to die within minutes. Some strokes cause mild symptoms like temporary confusion or weakness, while others lead to paralysis, speech loss, or complete dependency. And in many tragic cases, the stroke proves fatal. One of the most common and dangerous contributors to stroke is high blood pressure. Over time, the added pressure damages arteries, increasing the chances of them bursting or becoming blocked. And just like with heart disease, high blood pressure often doesn't show any symptoms, which is why so many people walk around unaware they're at risk until it's too late. Another cause is irregular heart rhythms, such as atrial fibrillation, AFib. Many seniors experience this without knowing it. When the heart doesn't beat regularly, blood can pool and form clots. If one of those clots travels to the brain, it can cause a stroke in seconds. The good news? A routine checkup can detect this condition, and treatment options are available to drastically lower the risk. Diet and lifestyle also play a huge role. Diets high in processed foods, salt, and unhealthy fats contribute to clogged arteries and poor circulation. And physical inactivity makes things worse by allowing blood to thicken and stagnate. Staying active, eating whole, nutrient-rich foods, and maintaining a healthy blood pressure are all powerful ways to reduce your stroke risk. Simple changes like adding more leafy greens to your meals, reducing sodium intake, and drinking more water can have a major impact. One crucial but often ignored warning sign of a future stroke is a mini-stroke, TIA, or transient ischemic attack. These events may cause sudden confusion, blurred vision, or difficulty speaking, and even if the symptoms go away quickly, they should never be brushed off. Seeking medical help immediately can mean the difference between preventing a major stroke and dealing with lifelong consequences. The most important thing to understand: you have the power to lower your risk of stroke. Regularly monitoring your blood pressure, following a heart-friendly diet, staying physically active, and being alert to early signs can help you maintain your independence and avoid the devastating effects of a stroke. The sooner you take action, the better your chances of protecting yourself. If you're still watching and found this part useful, type number 4 in the comments to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit that button and turn on notifications. Your support helps us keep creating content that educates and empowers. Finally, number 5, cognitive decline and its consequences. One of the most painful realities of aging is the gradual loss of memory, judgment, and independence. Cognitive decline doesn't strike overnight, it creeps in slowly, starting with subtle changes that are easy to dismiss. But over time, those minor memory slips grow into serious difficulties. Tasks that were once second nature, like managing finances, recognizing familiar faces, or making sound decisions, can become overwhelming. And for many, this shift isn't just inconvenient. It can become dangerous. Conditions like Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia don't just affect the brain. They impact the entire body. As mental abilities diminish, so does a person's ability to care for themselves. Remembering to take medications, eating balanced meals, or noticing when something feels off in the body becomes increasingly difficult. Dehydration is common because some people forget to drink enough water. Others may eat too much or too little, leading to malnutrition or weight issues that open the door to even more health problems. Another serious danger: accidental injury. Forgetting to turn off the stove, leaving the front door unlocked, or wandering into unsafe areas, these risks grow as cognitive abilities decline. Unfortunately, this often leads to a heartbreaking outcome: the loss of independence. Many seniors eventually can't live alone safely, and without adequate care, their overall health can worsen rapidly. What makes cognitive decline even more alarming is that many people don't realize it's happening. Early symptoms like forgetting names, misplacing items frequently, or struggling to follow conversations are often written off as normal aging. But these are actually early warning signs that the brain is changing. Taking action at this stage can make a big difference in how slowly the condition progresses and how much quality of life a person retains. So how can you protect your brain? Exercise your mind reading, learning new skills, playing games, or having meaningful conversations keep the brain sharp. Move your body. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, preserving memory and thinking ability. Stay socially connected. Loneliness accelerates decline. Regular interaction keeps your brain engaged. Eat brain-boosting foods, omega-3s, found in fish, nuts, antioxidants, berries, leafy greens, and vitamins support cognitive health. Avoid inflammatory foods. Excess sugar, processed foods, and unhealthy fats raise dementia risk. Cognitive decline is not a guaranteed part of aging. By staying active, connected, and mindful, you can greatly reduce your risk. The bottom line: heart disease, falls, respiratory illnesses, stroke, and cognitive decline. These 5 conditions are responsible for the overwhelming majority of deaths after age 75. But here's the key takeaway: they're not unavoidable. Small, consistent habits, starting today, can lead to years of increased strength, clarity, and independence. Your well-being is your greatest asset. The more you care for it, the more time, joy, and freedom you can enjoy. What's one small change you'll make today? Share in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your support allows us to keep bringing you life-changing content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.